The Grenada yachting industry has seen immense growth in the last few decades, adding new marinas and new services. But how has Grenada been trying to keep up with these developments in terms of building the capacity of its people to meet the needs of the industry? This week's State of Affairs takes a deeper look into the industry, particularly at how Grenada is developing its human resource to meet the needs of this growing industry. Serent Edwards is a young Grenadian working in the yachting industry for the past 5 years. He got his start as a result of a government training program. Now he brandishes a day skipper license that allows him to take charge of a yacht as the captain. Serent is one of the yachting industry's success stories.
I learned so many things. I could actually tell you so many things. Oh, wow, where could I start?
The persons driving Serent's success are Mark and Anita Sutton of Island Dreams Yacht Services, based at Port Louis Marina and Le Fer Bleu.
He was taking part in a youth training programme. I think it was a 10-week course he'd done with the Coast Guard, and we did a recruitment from that course.
Island Dreams have taken on inexperienced staff who have learned on the job, a gamble which has paid off for them.
We have our own sort of on-the-job training programme. We start off working people through generally cleaning boats, looking after boats, and then we move on to checking boats, the more technical side, battery voltages, checking water in the bilges, checking the systems are operating. And then from then people can either go a technical route and develop their technical skills, or a sailing route and develop their sailing skills, or some of both.
TAMCC delivers training in things like electrical installation, welding, plumbing, electronics, and some of those skills are relevant to the marine sector. However, what we're working to do is to add add to those programs the marine element.
Mr. Jason Fletcher manages the Grenada Marine, a full-service boatyard that, unlike other boatyards in the Caribbean, does not depend on subcontractors.
It's very difficult to find skilled personnel for the areas that we require in Grenada.
The marine sector is one of the sectors that, in terms of training in Grenada, has been neglected for years. And now I'm happy that we're finally at a point where we are beginning to address the training needs of the sector.
The Imani program hopes to begin collaborating with the National Training Agency this year and is looking at the possibility of offering a national vocational qualification in boat building to trainees in Carriacou, among other endeavors.
We have opportunities outside of Grenada as well, and the discussion also surrounded having a few trainees be sent to Trinidad to do some seamanship training or so. And the National Training Agency is also seeing how we can improve on the standards that we have now to provide an NVQ for persons interested in yachting and sailing. And I believe that they are working quite speedily on that, and we are trying our best to see how we can engage persons most likely from September.
There is also a collaborative training effort between the Grenada Marine, the T.A. Marichaud Community College, the Marine and Yachting Association of Grenada, and the National Training Agency.
We're trying to put systems in place to train people. So we started by certifying the existing people. It's a matter of we're in the process of adopting standards locally for pleasure craft, for the pleasure craft industry, and getting people certified at different levels within the industry. So there's an ongoing training that's necessary, and that is in process.
In order to build the standards, what we've done is that we've formed a collaboration with the American Boat and Yacht Council, the ABYC.
With funds from the Caribbean Development Bank, businesses in the yachting industry have come together to organize industry-specific training in fabrication, woodwork, mechanics, and other key areas. Sutton notes that marine-specific training, however, is not yet available on island, and that bigger yachts, which have started visiting the Grenadian shoreline, require a higher level of maintenance and skills.
What you really need is a combination of formal training and on-the-job experience. You need a combination of those to really develop skills.
A lot of the training on the island, both in the marinas, in the boatyards, in all of the businesses, actually gets done in-house. So for instance, Jason Fletcher has a very, very good in-house mentorship program.
We have to import a lot of the heads of departments, the supervisors, the highly skilled guys, and we have a sort of an informal apprenticeship program, but we're in the process of formalizing that apprenticeship program.
Unemployment in Grenada is falling, and the Keith Mitchell administration is moving aggressively to ensure the trend continues. The government feels adequate training could equip Grenadians with the skills to gain employment in the expanding yachting sector.
I believe that we have a great opportunity, and we now have to see how we can be able to provide for those young persons, especially in Kitimatnik, where boating and yachting is definitely one of the bigger industries. So we now have to see how we can engage these young persons to be part of that training.
Membership in the ABYC Marine League gives us access to the ABYC standards, so that as we develop occupational standards for the sector, we will use the ABYC standards as the basis for our standards that will be used for training and certification.
Training is needed because people come along and they basically have to teach themselves. So I think if there was some formal training for especially the young people to get into working on boats in the various trades, it would be a great idea.
A recent study done by the marine and yachting industry of Grenada estimates that the subsector contributes more than 100 million EC to the economy every year and employs over 1,000 people.
These are Grenadians that grew up in Grenada, and we pull them into the industry and we train them, and they're doing really, really well. And they're giving a retail experience that you only see in Europe or in US, or in first world countries.
I was sent off to training at St. Martin. We had at least a week of training. So we had exams. I taught you about sales. I taught you about dealing with customers.
We all came in with no knowledge at all of what the marine industry entails. And being here, you've heard of boats coming through and all of that, but being in here and having first-hand experience and learning the amount of different things that you can find without boats, it's very interesting, can be challenging at times, but very rewarding.
I'd like to encourage schools and parents and young people to find out more about the industry.
It's a new avenue. We're more used to the tourism side of cruise ships and stuff, but when it comes into the yachting industry, it's quite interesting and exciting to be in.
Young people always asking themselves what you want to be when you grow up, you know what I mean? And you want to find the guys who are leaning, or the people who are leaning towards it, the different disciplines almost from before they leave school, and serious people.
When a marine technician is trained in Grenada, he will receive an NVQ or a CVQ in the relevant occupational area. But he can also become ABYC certified in that area, and the ABYC certification is recognized around the world.
Grenadians working in the industry cite training, consistency and certification as key elements to their success.
You can't be in Composite today and then go and do something else and come back in, By the time you're ready to come back in, there might be new products, there might be new things. So you have to, if it's that what you decide to do, you have to keep at it, and I kept at it,
We have to develop standard because we have a lot of expensive boats, and they expect us to, to be up there.
Well, I have the ABYC Composite Technician. I have that, and the other two, I have to get 2 more, which is a total of 3 to get a master. So the next phase is to get 2 more, pass 2 more of the exams and try to be a master at it,
Come on in it. It's a wide field. You have a lot of discipline for ladies as well as gentlemen. And with a proper attitude, it could be a sustainable livelihood as it's been for me for the past 15 years.
For State of Affairs, I'm Annette Moore.